east coast of Newfoundland and Labrador, SIFE Clarenville operates out of College of the North Atlantic, Clarenville campus.
Good morning, judges, and welcome to the SIFE Capital One Financial Education Challenge. Together, our mission is to create a social, economic, and environmental difference within our communities. This year, I have worked on 3 projects and have contributed 200 volunteer hours. My name is Gordon Greening, and I am project leader for financial education and Let's Can Hunger.
This year I've worked on 2 projects. I have volunteered over 150 hours. My name is Cheryl Penny, and I am project leader for financial education as well as Let's Can Hunger.
This year I've worked on 3 projects and have contributed 140 volunteer hours. My name is Olivia Best. This year I've worked on 3 projects and contributed 140 volunteer hours. My name is Krista Skillington. Our tech person today is Kyle Tisler. He has worked on 3 projects and contributed 100 volunteer hours.
Clarenville has had tremendous growth. Our population has risen by 14.4% to over 6,000 in the past 5 years. And with many upcoming billion-dollar projects in our community, many families are having difficulties keeping up with the increasing cost of living.
This year, SIFE Clarenville has executed 2 projects underneath the banner of financial education, Student Investment Matters, SIMS, as well as Reaching Out.
Our first project is SIMS, which is in its 3rd year. The SIMS project teaches financial education to students from primary to post-secondary. The 5 components of SIMS are sensible thinking, kids save, raise for richness, managing your money, and financial matters.
The first component of SIMS we implemented was Sensible Thinking, which is a 3-level program aimed towards primary students that teaches money recognition and the purchasing process.
In level 1, we worked with Beavers and Sparks and executed 2 sessions with a total of 80 children aged 5 to 6. Children attended an hour-long session that began with coin recognition and differentiation. Next, the children were placed into a grocery store setting. Each child could pick out an item that they wanted and pay the clerk the amount shown on their price tag.
In a pre-test, only 40% of students were able to identify the various coins in their names. By the time this level had been completed, that number had increased to 75%, showing a 35% improvement in knowledge.
The main skill that the children learned from the sensible thinking sessions Brooke Taylor recently attended.
But I think it gives her more of a sense of, when she asks for something, mommy actually has to provide money for that. So it's not just there's tons of it anymore. She didn't look at the money part before. It was just the fact I'm getting a prize. I don't care how much it is. So I think she's a little more aware of that now.
We combined levels 2 and 3 to execute 1 session of sensible thinking, with a total of 25 brownies aged 7 through 8. These students attended an hour-and-a-half-long session in which they were taught the value of each coin, how to calculate the correct cost of an item, and the correct amount of change.
In a pre-test, only 8 could successfully calculate the cost of the item on the flashcard. In a post-test, children were put into a grocery store setting where one was a purchaser and one was a cashier to demonstrate what they learned. Overall, 16 could complete this.
This year, SIFE Clarenville will execute a new component of SIMS, Raise for Richness, aimed at students aged 12 to 15. This will be in partnership with Youth 2, a local youth group, and is scheduled to begin this month with 8 confirmed participants.
This will be a 5-week training program that focuses on starting and operating an environmentally friendly canteen business. Week 1, create a business name and create a green advertising campaign. Week 2, calculate the cost of the product being sold and determine desired profit. Week 3, students will develop an eco-friendly business plan. SIFE Clarenville will then present each team with $50 as startup capital. Week 4, students will sell their product at a local event.
Week 5, we will meet with the teams to analyze their business outcomes. This project will apply business and economic concepts with an entrepreneurial and environmental approach.
This year, SIFE Clarenville was contacted by Ability Employment Corporation, a government-funded agency that helps young disadvantaged adults better their futures.
The focus of this project is to teach young adults the importance of saving and spending their money. We had 6 participants take part. We executed a pre
activity tests to measure their understanding of budgeting, saving, and spending.
We developed an interactive game based on the board game Life called Money Matters in Life. Students chose a career profile which outlined educational requirements and expected salary. They then had to estimate monthly payments.
Students spun the wheel, and then once the wheel was spun, based on the outcome, students had to input the expenses shown into their career profile sheets. Next, they had to determine whether their budget was balanced.
In a post-test, participants were given a 6-month budgeting template to track their personal budget. Patty Kay from Ability Employment speaks to the benefit of this.
Because of the managing your money presentation, my students have become much more aware of spending money, and they're actually very cautious of what they spend their money on. Their budgets are ongoing, and they try to keep their expenses to a minimum. I think this would be very beneficial to them once they get out on their own. Thank you, sir.
In the past 3 years, we have executed 3 components of SIMS. We will continue with these projects, and next year we will implement the 4th component. SIMS is improving quality of life and standard of living of students at all stages of their lives.
This year, we partnered with Eastern Health to develop a new project called Reaching Out. This was the result of a needs assessment that identified negative economic concepts of the upcoming major oil and gas projects on families in Clarenville. This project has 2 components: skilled trades, employment preparation, STEP, and healthy living for families on low incomes.
STEP stresses the importance of teaching skilled trade students skills for the workforce. It also identifies costs associated with substance abuse.
In the first session, we will teach students discuss.
In our second session, we will arrange mock interviews consisting of a panel with a business student and a trade student from an apprenticeship program. We are transferring valuable knowledge and skills to our trades and business students.
On March the 15th, we will be hosting information sessions with companies in which they will outline their hiring and drug testing policies. Our SIFE team will also hold a cost of addiction seminar, which will focus on how this will affect students' financial health for years to come.
Our second project under Reaching Out is Healthy Living for Low-Income Families. This nutrition education program teaches families how to prepare healthy and nutritious meals on a limited budget. Budgeting is a very important first step for these families to ensure that they can cover up all of their expenses for every month.
Throughout these sessions, participants will be given the skills and knowledge to read and compare food labels to help make healthy food choices, practice comparing unit prices to make the most economical choice, and select a basket of healthy foods for under $10.
We have a strategy to ensure we are incorporating long-term solutions for these families to take responsible actions for long-term healthy living, thus improving their quality of life.
This year, through our financial education projects, we have helped individuals to gain the financial management skills they need to achieve independence.
We have unique financial education programs for all ages.
We have made a positive impact on the financial decision-making of individuals.
We have a strategy to ensure the long-term sustainability of our team and our financial education program.
We have applied business and economic concepts to all of our projects, but most importantly, we are helping to improve the quality of life and standard of living for our entire community.
Who are we? We are a team of 21 members.
We have executed 33 projects and events.
We have created 29 partnerships.
We have volunteered over 1,800 hours.
We are a small team achieving huge results.
We are SIFE Clarenville.
We can move right into question and answers.
I just want to say, wow. These are great creative programs and really targeted at a group of, at a population, young people, that'll have a long-term impact. You know, it's quite impressive. Do you have a long-term plan to assess, you know, as the kids move through school, you know, whether there is a long-term impact when they start in the younger programs and move through?
Well, one of the things that we're doing, and I'll focus on our SIMS program because that's the one with 5 components. And what we've been doing is we've been implementing a new component each year. And what our hopes are is that once all 5 are implemented, they'll be able to start with sensible thinking, which is the first component. And then as they're going up through their education life, we'll say, that they'll be able to take part in each component as they're going. So they'll start off small, and then by the time they get to post-secondary, they will have completed all of the 5 components, which will then give them a good solid background in the financial world.
That also goes well hand in hand with the fact that we're working with like Beavers and Sparks. These are groups that like they work up in the ranks in these groupings themselves. So then as we get them in Sparks, for instance, we can get them again in Girl Guides, and then we can get them again in, say, Brownies. So we'll work up through the ranks with them with that as well. So it's a great partnership to help us make sure that we do get through the projects.
And that was kind of my other question. Have you thought about transferring a train-the-trainer type knowledge to the Sparks, Beavers, Cub Scouts, so that they can expand the reach of the program? Because you're limited by the number of people you have and the fact that you're flowing through university, and we'll move on to other things. But those programs have been around forever, and they could definitely use the benefit of these things being embedded into what they do.
Out of curiosity, it was a pleasant surprise to hear that there's great growth in your area. Is that all attributed to gas and oil? Is that for the oil and gas industry? I just out of curiosity.
I would say yes, because right now we have 2 major upcoming projects. We have Hebron, which is nearby, and we have Long Harbor. And right now, one of the things we're seeing is like the cost of housing and rent and those things. They're going sky high because of these big companies that are coming in and paying for it. So we're seeing that, yeah, a lot of that is based on those projects.
Well, and then if that's the case, it's nice to hear you talk about with reaching out, preparing for employment. I'm sure that's a big issue in skilled labor. I'm really glad to hear that you guys are focusing some on that too. That's excellent.
We anticipate that with all those construction projects coming up, that these trade students can take these skills and then apply them and work what they know back into our economy.
Right.
So it just helps them prepare themselves for those jobs that will be coming up for them.
The types of things that we do would be to help them critique their resumes, discuss possible job interview questions, and look at job banks to help them get the skills when they go out there. They have those $1 million companies right there in our backyard for them to just go there and have it all.
I see that. I think the partnership you have with Girl Guides, Sparks, et cetera,
Any other questions from the judges?
this might be a tough one, but I'll and it goes back to the question I was just asked, because this is so intriguing and so interesting. Is this something that could be taking, right across the province of Newfoundland and Labrador as it relates to Girl Guides, Sparks? And this is really neat, and to have it limited to the town of Clarenville is probably, it can be much bigger perhaps. Any thoughts?
Well, I think it's something that can be taken across the province very easily, in my mind. It's just that getting the people on board. We're only a small team of 21 members, so what we have to do would be to get in contact with other organizations, give them materials, and teach them how to do it.
Right.
And it will be a great thing to get across the province, because particularly with kids, no matter what the economy is, kids assume that money grows on trees and that they can have whatever they want. So yes, it is something that we should look at and to expand it outside of our community, and hopefully as a province as a whole, that eventually over time we can work to get this changed.
Playing into that, is that interactive game on the web? Is it a web-based interactive game you developed?
No, it's a presentation type game where there will be a slideshow type setup.
You could consider putting that on the web, so then Sparks, you could log into that. That's a whole other side of it. I realize that's something that can be leveraged.
It's definitely something that we will look into.
Yeah.
So I'm also curious about something else. You clearly have a good understanding of how children learn and how they interact. Clearly none of you have have kids that are going